So, Mwijarubi, it's very great to have you here today. I've been looking
Thank you,
forward to
Karam.
today's conversation
Yeah.
because I believe your story is a very powerful example of innovation meeting purpose.
Yes,
Personally,
it
I
is.
have been to quite a number of places across Africa, and wherever
Yeah.
I went, I think the waste and trash issue often are concerning. So it's not just a matter of infrastructure, it's really about awareness, education, and practicality. That is also why what you are doing truly stands out to us. You are building a product, yes, but also in the process, you are solving a very critical environmental issue, empowering communities and changing how people think about energy and waste. So let's dive
Yes.
into your story today.
Okay.
First of all, take me back to the beginning. So how did this all start and what inspired you to start CoCharcoal?
So currently I was employed, right? But you're being paid every end of the month but the kind of responsibility that I was having plus the paycheck that I was having, it was not okay. So I've been a person who always has been looking for alternatives on how I can pull up myself financially. So also I was looking for something that if I do it as a business, then I'll be able to impact a big community. I mean, since I was born to now, charcoal was the main basic source of fuel in home cooking, right? So it comes with the effect of the normal wood charcoal, traditional wood charcoal, that people cut trees. Then we came with the climatical issues. So while I was researching, I was looking for an alternative that can make the same charcoal, but in a more sustainable way. I chose coconut shells because of the advantage that it has. So that's how CoCharcoal came through.
I wonder when people started using CoCharcoal solution, let's say the coconut waste produced energy source, how did they respond? Can you tell us like how your briquettes compare to wood charcoal, for example, in terms of burn duration, efficiency of energy, and also maybe the emission, even health impact? How do they compare?
Okay, so with wood charcoal, it's still we have to educate people more. The wood charcoal has been there for decades, right? So the advantages of using coconut shells charcoal compared to wood charcoal is the first advantage is with the shells, with the coconut shells that we are producing, the burning time is high, the high calorific value than the wood charcoal. This is because the wood has more moisture compared to shells, right? So that's one. It burns longer also. And when we come in sense of health, we both know that the normal wood charcoal produces smoke while burning, but with our charcoal briquettes, it doesn't produce smoke. So in regards to health, it's safe to use the charcoal briquettes compared to the wood briquettes.
So in short, you are saying burning coconut waste is
Yeah.
coconut waste is burning hotter, longer, and cleaner, right? Hotter because it requires higher temperature to burn. It has less moisture, and longer because the duration, how long it can burn, is longer, and also cleaner in terms of the amount of smoke it emits. It's
Yes.
like
The smoke
lower
also
than
the
traditional
access.
wood.
Yes.
Wonderful. Cool. Okay. Now, starting something new is one thing, but changing long-standing habits like using charcoal is a whole different challenge. How did you manage to convince the households and businesses to move away from the traditional method?
So currently, in my country, the government has initiated a clean cooking initiative, right? Because of the deforestation and environmental pollution, right? So the local traditional charcoal right now is quite expensive. So that's the first reason. Because with our briquettes, it's not expensive compared to the normal charcoal that we're having, right? Also, there are initiatives. So there are some NGOs which are spreading, like they're educating the people, the society about the importance of using sustainable energy to conserve environment and to protect the environment from climatic change, right? So through the NGOs, the government initiatives, there are a lot of campaigns in the social media, right? So we tap in those part. We also have our own programs. We collaborate with other organizations to educate people with the importance. Also, we are working on perfecting our product that when the customer gets it, with what we claim it to be, it's the same thing. So pricing, that's the one part. Ours is low, is lower price, but best quality. Government initiatives on clean cooking, right? We have NGOs and other organizations that are working on green energy. So we tap in those parts. Also, we collaborate. So let's say in sense of maybe schools, right? Just to educate. We have programs that we can educate the people. So that's how.
Taking into account of all these factors, including energy efficiency, environment and health impact, and the pricing, it's almost too good to say no to this new approach, right? All right. And you have also mentioned the importance of community in your approach. So what role does grassroots engagement play in getting people to adopt this new approach?
In the community, I'm sourcing the shells from different markets and some from farmers. So through this process, they will ask, you're collecting shells, what are you going to use them for? So while buying, I will inform them like, with these shells, you can make charcoal. And while we're making charcoal, then we can be able to stop the wood charcoal that is affecting our environment, right? So through this, I'm not collecting the shells for free, right? These people, allow my community also, because I'm buying from them. So that's another source of income from them, right? So we're having a team of 8 people for now. We're able to produce some employment to the community, right? We only employ people around the community that we are working on.
Before you started CoCharcoal, were there any other solution in the market that also collects coconut waste to do this? If not, how did the community make use of coconut waste before? Did they just throw them away?
Okay, currently before there was the solution was there, but no one was doing it, right? So from the vendors that were collecting shells, they used to throw them away. Yeah, so they will pile up, then they will just throw them away, or they will give them for free to street vendors, the one who are cooking food along the markets.
Now share with us a little bit about the status of your startup. How old is CoCharcoal and how big is the team now?
So currently we're 3 years old. The team now, we are currently having 15 people. The drivers for the trucks, the people for sales and marketing, the people who are working on collecting the shells, and the one because we are still working manually, right? So it needs a lot of people to perfect the process.
Yeah, within 3 years, you have reached to a 15 people team size. That's already a medium-sized team, actually. But I know that you believe in slow, steady growth instead of chasing, the speed, right? Most startups feel pressure to grow fast, actually, in the current environment. But you have taken a more deliberate path. Why do you think this slow, steady kind of approach is so important to you?
This is important because, as we know, already there is a product the same as ours on the market. So there is traditional wood charcoal still is there. So because we have to work it's not a new product, so we have to work with the customer psychology. So in this sense, we mean like we have to first educate people, tap in with initiatives and those organizations. We have to educate people more and more, make the product more accessible to them. Like we are still in place working on pipelines on how to increase our supply of raw material so as we can grab that big number. So currently we have to go slow because it's not a new product, but it's a product that needs to be pushed hard with a lot of educating people, connecting with people. So we have to do a lot of exhibition. We have to go to a lot of places, a lot of shows, so as we can display it. So that's why for us it's quite important to go slow while assessing each step, right?
Is CoCharcoal to B or to C? Who are you selling the solution to? To normal daily consumers or some businesses?
So currently we are working with normal customers. Also, people who are having restaurant chains. The plan is to start with those in maybe in hotels in the next year. But currently we're working with those normal street vendors, households. And if it's restaurants, those restaurants which are, at the middle. So
you are
we do
selling
this.
both to B and to C. Both.
Yeah, we are selling both to B and C.
Is there any difference in your selling approach? For example, to the businesses, I could imagine you probably go to the premises of the businesses and sell your value proposition, right? But for households, it's literally it's not so practical. You go to every household and sell your product.
Yeah.
So what is your approach for that? You put let's say a stand or a location on the street in the market to sell to daily consumers and households?
We have through social media. The other approach is we are having people who are having stands already. They had stands. They were selling the wood charcoal. When I'm having 50 bags, can you please sell them for me, right? Then in each bag you will have a certain amount.
Like a middleman, or
like
an
middlemen.
agency, right? Okay.
Yes, they have customers already who are buying charcoal from them. So it's quite easier to tap in on the households because they already have the trust of the people in that area. We put them as middlemen and we do direct through social media. So those are the approach that we are using currently.
Cooler. I know beyond just offering a cleaner fuel, CoCharcoal also follows a circular economy model. So how does that approach empower local communities more broadly? What type of circular economy model are you using? Could you give us a little bit more details on that?
The kind of circular economy that we're using, first, from where we source the shells, right? So most of the shells we are buying from, so in the market, there are those vendors who are specifically selling coconuts, right? So now, thanks to the Chinese, right, there are those machines which are used to peel the inside layer, right? So most of the users nowadays, when they go to the market, they do not take the whole coconut to their places, right? They will just buy the coconut, select the coconut they want, then the vendor will use the machine, then the shell will remain with the vendor. So we talk straight to those vendors. So, let's say per day, how many coconut can you sell? So from those coconut can you sell, can you please store for us the shells? Then by Friday, we'll come to pick them up, right? So they're not giving us for free. So we buy it from them. We have people who are the one who carry those bags to the truck. So we have a truck. We have employed a driver. We have a driver, right? We'll take the shells to the site, right? So from the site, there are people who we have employed to work on the process of making the briquettes, right? So from there, the people who are employed will work on the briquettes. After that, then the product will go back to the markets as a finished good, as a charcoal briquette. So that's how a circular model is.
Thanks for explaining that. I know your journey hasn't been without setbacks. One moment that stood out was not securing UNDP funding. You talked about that before. So how did you process that experience and what lessons came from it?
When I was rejected, I was disappointed, right? Because I believed my idea, the project that we're having has potential and it aligns with UNDP in regards to climate. But I took it positively, right? How can I improve? Will be another chance next time I'll be picked. It is a startup, so there are many questions if you want to get funded. So there are many criterias. If you have to get funded, then there are feedback. So I took it as a guideline. Right.
My last question for you today is that looking forward, what is your long-term vision for CoCharcoal, not just in Tanzania, but across East Africa?
The main vision right now that we're having is to become the #1 brand for charcoal briquettes in East Africa and in Africa. The other one is there is so much potential in coconut shells, right? So there is a possibility to expand our product line. So currently we're having only the charcoal products, which is our main product. We want to expand into supermarkets within town, supermarkets within the country. If we want to export, it has to be at a certain stage, quality. So the vision is big. I want to be able to employ many people in the community, right? So we are planning on having a big production line in the next 5 years.
Wonderful. Mwijarubi, thank you, not just for the conversation, but also for the work you are doing. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Carol.